2, 3. Hey, what's up, guys? I think I messed up the A, but it's an A, guys. You know what that means? Avengers Infinity War comes out this week. Releases Thursday. Well, technically the world premiere is today, but Thursday is the first day that we get to see it as an audience, general audience, and I'm super excited. I got some people here today to record some things, do some box office predictions for this weekend, and talk about our top 3 Marvel movies. So we're going to go ahead and do that. See you guys soon. Hey, what is up, everybody? We're here today to talk about predictions. Predictions for what, you ask? Predictions for Avengers Infinity War. Who can say it? Say it with me, guys. Avengers Infinity War. That was lame. Sorry, guys. So, today we're going to be talking about our predictions, what we think Infinity War is going to make opening weekend at the box office. I have high hopes for this movie. I'm sure these guys do too. We're going to talk about it. And after that, we're also going to talk about our top 3 Marvel movies that we have enjoyed over the past 10 years and kind of accumulate what our thoughts are on the whole franchise as a whole. So without further ado, I'm actually going to show you something real quick, a little sneak peek for Thursday. We're doing something crazy on Thursday. It's gonna be lit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But you guys see here, it's a pretty cool little. Pretty excited for this. I did that myself. Chris, you want to stand up? Show everybody what you got on. There's a little bit of Deadpool action there. Dave, you want to stand up?
Sure.
It's a shirt. But
it's just a shirt.
It's tight.
You know,
it's a cool shirt.
it fits.
It's alright. It's Marvel. It's all that matters. Alright, everybody. So we're going to start off with some of the highest grossing Marvel movies that have made the most money over the past 10 years. And then we're also going to be talking about some of the highest opening weekend box offices as well. So we can kind of get a background for where we should be at with our prediction-wise. So Black Panther is the Marvel movie that has made the most money. And it's run, and it's only been out 2 months now? Yeah, about 2 months now. It's at $681 million worldwide.
That's a lot of money.
That's nuts. That's $300 million less than what Force Awakens has made worldwide, and that's the highest grossing movie. Black Panther is actually number 3 in the top right now, so that's super great. After Black Panther for the Marvel films is Marvel's The Avengers. That one made around $623 million, which is still a lot of money. It's only about $60 million short of Black Panther, but you have to think as well, Avengers made that in a longer amount of time, whereas Black Panther made it in a much shorter amount of time. Moving on to number 3, we have Avengers Age of Ultron at $459 million. Now, we saw that movie, and obviously it wasn't as well. It didn't meet the expectations that we had from the first Avengers film, but it still did it made a lot of money, and it was still a lot of fun, at least for me. I don't know about you guys. You guys probably liked it too, but
Yeah, that was good.
So let's move on to top opening box office weekends, and at number 1 we have Star Wars: The Force Awakens with $247.9 million opening weekend. That's nuts. It's damn near $250 million just for a 3-day weekend. That's for Force Awakens. Obviously, we have a lot of. It's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
And obviously, we have a lot of hype on that franchise because it's Star Wars and it's huge. But we have a lot of hype for Avengers as well. And Marvel is been doing so much in the past 10 years. I can't imagine it not doing at least close to that amount right there. So number 2, we have another Star Wars film. It's The Last Jedi. Star Wars does well. Disney knows how to make movies. What can I say? They're buying everything, but they can afford it, obviously. So Last Jedi comes in at $220 million. That's a huge feat for especially a movie like Last Jedi, which a lot of people didn't like, but it still made a lot of money opening weekend.
Yeah. And
then at number 3, we see Jurassic World at $208 million. Now that movie was huge. Again, it was another return to the franchise. We're seeing a trend here, right? So with those 3 box office movies right there making the most money opening weekend, we're going to make predictions on what we think Avengers Infinity War is going to make. Now, with the Marvel movies opening weekend, we've seen a pretty good track record. So after number 3, the next 4 spots are all Marvel films. So number 4, we have Avengers Infinity War with $207 million. And then we have Black Panther with $202 million. Age of Ultron opened with $191 million. And then Captain America Civil War was opened with $179 million. So I'm just throwing these numbers out here like they're nothing. But obviously they're huge fates. I don't have $179 million. I don't think you guys do either, right?
Yeah, let me just put it in my wallet.
I wouldn't be sitting here if I did.
Yeah.
Sorry, nothing against you, dude.
Yeah, whatever. I was there for you. Anyways, so with this track record for Marvel movies making this amount of money and with these I'd say smaller films. I mean, Marvel's The Avengers was big, and then everyone after that except for like Black Panther maybe was kind of smaller still. Even Civil War wasn't really marketed for the grand spectacle that I think it is. But like Marvel's The Avengers, the first time we see all the Avengers together. Black Panther is the first black superhero film that is critically acclaimed as like a huge blockbuster, and then Age of Ultron is just another sequel, and Civil War was something that if you weren't invested in this franchise, then you're not gonna really enjoy it as much. This is why we're seeing it not making as much as like Age of Ultron or something like that. So, tracking right now is showing that Infinity War is going to make over $200 million, but there are studies that show anything over $150 million is hard to track because there's a lot of different factors that can go into play. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of marketing right now. It's going in high gear right now. My friend Chris here was at Disneyland this last week, and he saw a bunch of stuff over there.
So much stuff, dude.
Marketing, dude. They're going to push that until that movie comes out, and then probably even further. I'm surprised they haven't made a video game. They would make so much money. They would make so much money.
I'm sure that there's probably something in the works.
I mean, they are pushing stuff
Avengers,
on, like...
just like the Avengers in general, like trying to get maybe...
They need to. So, tracking is supposed to make over $200 million. My prediction, well, we'll get to that in a second. But the question is, do you guys think that Infinity War is going to top The Force Awakens at $247.9 million opening weekend? Who wants to start off?
I think that it definitely has the possibility. I mean, Star Wars is such a more broader spectrum than Marvel, I think, in cinematically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's been longer. It's a lot more founded, and that's why it did so well. Because with The Force Awakens, it had been so long since a Star Wars movie has been out that's continuing from the original. So there was a lot of expectation, a lot of viewership. But this particular movie with Black Panther, I didn't expect Black Panther to do as well as it did.
I don't think anybody did.
No. So.
Yeah. I think tracking it was supposed to track around $50 million.
Yeah.
Under $50 million.
Which, I mean, yeah. So I think that Infinity Wars can definitely reach that. I think it might surpass that.
You have a number?
I don't know. Gosh.
If you want to think about it, you can think
I'm so
about
hesitant though because I honestly don't think it's gonna.
No,
I say that, but I say that, and then I know like it's gonna be a lot higher than it is. But I think it's gonna hit about 240.
240.
I think it'll be neck and neck.
Just right below.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
I agree. It definitely. It has the potential, the possibility to either match it or surpass it. I think it's gonna make more than 240, and I think it's gonna beat it.
You think it's gonna be Force Awakens?
I think it's going to be Force Awakens. Yeah, I'm going to put it at 260.
260. See, you're not too far off from me. I'm saying 265. That is a high number.
Yeah.
And people that I watch on YouTube and all the critics I watch, they all say around 240. They think 245. They're going to be right below. Some people say 246, and they're like right below Force Awakens. They're just like
46.1.
Yeah. No, for real. They've done that. I'm like, guys, like, let's just get an estimate.
They're going to do 247.8.
0.8.
Yeah. 0.1 below.
$1 below, guys. One movie ticket. That's all it takes.
Sure.
But I have really... We've talked about it, and the fact that there's just so much, not even just marketing-wise, but just the amount of people that are talking about this film just in general, it's nuts. And I think it surpasses what The Force Awakens had because... I mean, we saw stuff for The Force Awakens. We saw trailers, and of course they marketed for that. Toys are a huge hit for Star Wars movies, especially when we get like lightsabers and different plushies and older characters back and things like that. But Marvel it's been consistent. So Star Wars, we had a trilogy, and then we waited a few years, more than a few years. We had another trilogy, and we waited another long time, and now we have another trilogy. So, I mean, the length, by default, of course, is much longer than Marvel, but Marvel has been very consistent, back to back to back, releasing 3 to 4 films a year, and all the films have been hits. I mean, I don't think, ever since about probably like, I'd say maybe right after the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, every movie has made close to like 85 million and up, opening weekend at least. And then after that, of course, they've all been blown out of the water. Just word of mouth for these movies, how well they're being done, and how much time and effort each movie is receiving, obviously is paying off for Marvel and Disney. So yeah, so 265 is my prediction for that because of how much of effort is going into this film and the secrecy behind the film. There's everybody wants to know who's gonna die. That's the biggest thing right now. We all have predictions on who's gonna die. I think it's Thor. I don't know why. I just do. I just have this feeling. I think it's Thor. I know who David thinks it is.
I think it's Loki.
He has this crazy theory.
I definitely think it's going to be his last chance to redeem himself, not only to his brother, but just to the world,
to Earth.
Yeah.
I didn't want.
Sorry, here's my life.
Sorry, I tried
don't know. But then he's gonna magically come back in the next one.
No, I think
Matt Damon will be in that one too.
Matt Damon. Oh my god.
It'll be his final hoorah.
Hoorah!
I think it's gonna be like a War Machine or maybe even Wong.
I hope it's not
Wong.
If it's like a lower tier character, I will be so angry. I don't need someone like that.
It has to be someone who means something.
It's got to.
But it can't be someone who means too much, and so that's why I think that's why I think it's going to be Loki.
That'll be the first time that Disney, like, even though it's Marvel, but Disney on that they'll do something like that if they do
kill somebody.
No, like
of
that importance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had Han Solo. Sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
If you haven't seen The Force Awakens,
yeah,
you just need to go.
I mean, it made a lot of money. You guys
so Han, yeah. I mean, that could have been a number of reasons, though.
But I mean, you're warranted. Your prediction's warranted. I mean, War Machine he's halfway dead.
I mean, yeah, he's already halfway out the door. I mean, it's, no, I just see that scene with that on the preview of Tony Stark, like all beat up and like holding. I think he's holding someone's hand.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
And because like that was a prediction. Well, it looks like he's just like or
and
like
if he's holding a hand, he wouldn't hold Wong's hand.
No.
So War Machine is a good prediction there because it's someone close to him.
Yeah.
And technically, Wong did die. He died.
He did.
He died in Doctor Strange.
Because he tried to 1v3 the group. So I mean, yeah. So
we could see these guys die too. This guy. I'm so surprised he's in this film, but I'm excited.
They need someone to die. That's why I
mean,
think those small
what if someone dies and then Doctor Strange just warps time again?
Nah, I don't want to do that.
And then they all lived happily ever after.
Thanos came and joined the world. He's part of the Avengers. Thanos will return.
He said,
in the next Avengers movie. End credit scene is them all eating shawarma together. Right? I can't. Alright, so we've all told our predictions. If you guys have any predictions about this film, how much it's going to make opening weekend, if you guys think it's going to beat The Force Awakens, please go ahead and comment in the comment section below. We want to know what you all think because this is a huge film and we have a lot of stuff coming your way this week. Super excited to share all of our thoughts and opinions on it. We're going to move on to our top 3 Marvel movies because I want to make this into something more of an interactive experience with these guys here because I really want to know their whole thought on the franchise because we talk about it, but we don't talk about it. We talk about it, but not too much. So, Before we get into that, I do want to throw out a theory here. And it's going to be, to me, it's mind-blowing because I just watched Black Panther for the 3rd time last weekend. I watched every single Marvel movie back to back to back, basically in succession, just to get prepared for Infinity War. That's how excited I am for this film. These guys tried, but they're busy. I'm a nerd, and I don't have that life, so I watched the movie. So
I didn't want to be the one to be like, nerd alert.
Nerd! I accept it,
no,
okay?
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey,
we're all nerds.
We're all nerds.
Yeah.
Who thought of this idea? It was me. I'm the one who wanted to dress up. I have so much stuff. So, my theory, watching Black Panther for the 3rd time. You guys remember if you guys haven't seen Black Panther, there is a spoiler here. I'll put a little tick, tick, tick in the thing. If you guys haven't seen Black Panther, just go see the movie. It's really good. But if you guys recall, when they're in the lab, and Shuri is showing T'Challa the suit, right? And he tells it to go on. You see how it goes on, right? It's like, looks like nanobots, right?
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like little,
necklace?
Yeah. So it's like little, you know?
Yeah.
So it's vibranium there.
So you think?
So Bleeding Edge in the comic books, that's what this armor is called. That's
Okay.
what the armor that he's using in the film.
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
It's Bleeding Edge. And in the comics, that armor consists of nanobots coming out of his cells. He's infused his cells with the bots for the suit to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my prediction is that Iron Man has somehow gotten his hands on vibranium tech, and that is what is coming out of. That's how he is getting the suit onto his body. Not nanobots. I think that is too far gone for this franchise, this universe. It just doesn't seem likely for that to be happening. But an example would be Red Wing, who is Falcon's little sidekick, who in the comics is an actual bird, but in the film it's a drone, because that fits with this universe, because we are not in a world where we just have a Falcon who will just obey our every command, but drones are very likely for that to happen. So switching the idea of nanobots to Wakandan vibranium tech is not too far off from the original idea or concept of the bleeding edge armor. So that is my prediction, my theory for that. And honestly, when I thought of it, I was watching the movie and I saw the armor come out of his necklace, and I popped in my head and I literally screamed in the theater. There was like 7 people there, but it blew my mind to think like this could actually be a thing, and it's super exciting. What do you guys agree?
I mean, if you look in watch the previews for it, and you can see that like in one scene his armor's like shot to whole body's off, so it's definitely possible that Shuri just made the armor, and maybe have put it in like his
arc reactor.
That might be why he has it again, because if remember in the third Iron Man movie he had it removed.
Yeah.
So that could be how his stuff comes, and it would make sense that it would come out of the reactor.
Yeah.
So it's possible that his armor gets obliterated. He can't fight Thanos with just the Earth's metals and stuff like that, other than vibranium. So Shuri makes one for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could like you said, if she did make it, she could have already had it made and just waited till the right moment. Be like, hey, I had this for you.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. If that is what ends up happening, is that there's a contingency plan or something, or Black Panther has already like asked Shuri to develop this armor for him. So that could definitely be a method for that to kind of get to him.
Yeah, definitely.
I am super excited. Literally that thought blew my mind, and then
you're like your expectation if he doesn't get it, you're just gonna look at his face in the movie theater, and he's just gonna go,
"No, boss." But it's okay. The movie's gonna be great, anyways. I've actually heard rumors, or not rumors, but the Russo brothers have talked about Avengers 4, which releases next year, to be 3 hours long. Longer than Infinity War, which is already at 200. What was it? What did you say?
2 hours 40 minutes.
Yeah, this guy literally predicted that. Like, what he didn't predict, but he guessed how long the movie
we were just. War. It was like casual talk. I was like, "How long is the movie? Like what? 240?" And he looks it up. 240.
You're like, dude, shut up. Freaking me out, man.
What he does. Maybe he's part of the movie. Are you in Infinity War?
I'm not, dude.
Punisher is in the movie, guys. Confirmed.
I don't know. Frank Castle might have to make a little appearance.
Right.
Okay, everybody. So, here we go. We're going to go about our top 3 Marvel movies of the cinematic universe. And you guys may be surprised. I'll start off because I think these guys still have to think about it a little bit. Well, maybe not you, but
I'm surprised at your choices. I'm looking at them here. I'm definitely surprised at them.
Yeah, you guys gonna be surprised for sure. You've always seen it too. But all of you out there, if you don't know, I got a tattoo here. So Spider-Man. It's on my shirt. My guy, Spider-Man. But number 1 pick for the top Marvel movie for me is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now I know it's a sequel. Didn't make as much money. Was not as good as the first Avengers film, at least not to a lot of people's perspectives or thoughts, but Avengers Age of Ultron was around the time I actually started getting way more into this franchise. I saw that movie 4 times in the big screen. I saw it twice at a theater, I saw it at a drive-in theater, and I think I saw it in IMAX somewhere or something, but I saw that movie so many times, and then I bought the movie. I remember when it came out on DVD, it was like when I first started working or something, but I knew it came out, and I went to Target just to get something else, and I saw it there. I was like, I really want this movie. I really, really want it. So I literally just snapped it up. I have it over there. It's got a red Blu-ray case. It's sick. And I was super excited to see the movie. And then when it came out, or when I remember watching it, first night I saw it Thursday night. So I saw it premiere night, or opening night for us here in the general world. We don't get screenings. But I saw the movie, and it was one of the most memorable films for me because of how many times I saw it and who the people I saw it with and things like that. And then the film itself was also just the time where we're seeing something where it wasn't something that happened to the world, it's something the Avengers caused. Well, mainly Tony Stark, but it wasn't something that was happening. They were trying to basically protect themselves, and it's a new environment, and it's a new kind of feel, because superhero movies, we just see events happening to them, but we never see events caused. So it's almost the first time we see cause and effect in the Marvel Universe. So that was something that I really enjoyed from this film, because it was coming from them and they had to try to fix their own problem, which is something that a lot of people go through. So for me, that's a little bit more relatable. So that was one of my top movie is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Number 2, it's going to be Iron Man 3. Now I know Iron Man 3 it was good, and it made a lot of money because it came right after Marvel's The Avengers. But it wasn't as critically acclaimed as, say, like Civil War or Captain America: Winter Soldier. As far as Phase 2 movie goes, it wasn't the top. I mean, obviously Thor: Dark World was at the bottom, but Iron Man 3 was not very far up there either. The reason I picked it though is because it's the first time we're seeing these superheroes, these gods basically, deal with real problems, and it's Tony Stark who's dealing with anxiety, suffering from this anxiety that he has seen from going into the wormhole, and it's affecting him in a way that we're not used to seeing these characters. It's making him vulnerable, and we don't see that in characters. I mean, we see it in Spider-Man because he's young, but we didn't get that until years later after Iron Man 3 came out. I mean, when we watched the first Captain America movie, the only time he was vulnerable was at the beginning when he's a kid, and then Thor. I mean, he loses his hammer, and I guess he's vulnerable, but he gets it back. But anxiety is something that you can't really ever lose, and this still affects him even in future Marvel films. So we're seeing another cause and effect because we're seeing the event of New York affecting Tony Stark in a way that we're not used to seeing these characters. So that's why I'm picking Iron Man 3 as my number 2 pick. Number 3 is going to be Civil War, and it's number 3 because 2 scenes. Airport scene and Queens. So the airport scene was one of the greatest moments in the MCU history because, I mean, obviously, I don't have to explain that. I really shouldn't, but I'm going to because we're seeing all these characters fight, and it's so much fun. And I watched it the other day again when I did my thing, and I was just so amazed at how well everything just kind of flows together, and it's not like super choppy. The way the Russo brothers directed that film was so great, and then that was just a great lead up, a great ending to that storyline. I mean, we still have the part that happens afterwards, but as far as the Avengers kind of fighting each other, that's kind of where it ends, at least for the team itself. But and then when I remember watching the movie, I didn't see it with you guys, but when I watched the movie, and as soon as Queens popped up, I was bouncing in my seat like a little girl squealing. I remember, I know what Queens is. I know who's in Queens. I knew he was in the film. I was just waiting for him to show up. And as soon as it showed Queens on the screen, everything in my body stopped, and I was so excited. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. But that is when Civil War is my third top pick, and it wasn't really because of the movie. It was mainly because of the way it made me feel and the way how excited I got when I got to see all these characters come together for the first time in a film as large as this. We're going to see it again in Infinity War. That's why I'm so excited. So, we're going to move on to... Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised that you didn't pick Spider-Man.
Yeah.
as your even as your number 3, you know. I'm going to say my number 1 Marvel movie is going to be Iron Man 1. And the reason I say that is because it was... I want to say, when I saw the first Iron Man, that was when I really got into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was more because this dude just made himself a superhero. Mm-hmm. Right? Who effing does that?
Batman.
Right? No, but
nah.
But he took it a step further.
Yeah,
it wasn't just that he could fight or that he could hold his ground against enemies. I mean, he literally made himself almost unstoppable. You know, mm-hmm. and it's
invincible.
How do you have how do you do that? Just the mindset that it takes to do that, and then just the story, just everything about it. That was my number 1 favorite Marvel movie. Number 2, I would say the first Avengers, only because it was the first time we got to see all the Avengers together. We knew, obviously from all the post-credit scenes that it was going to be coming.
Right.
I think it was just something that we were looking forward to, and it was a fun movie to watch. But speaking about fun movies, my number 3 is actually going to be Ragnarok, Thor.
Okay.
So when we watched it the second time, I enjoyed it much more than the first time, and I think if I watch it a third time, I'm gonna enjoy it even more. It's a really fun movie. It's a lot of comedy, maybe too much comedy, but it's just a very fun movie. And like you said, it is the first time that we actually see Thor get vulnerable, and I really like the scenes when he is talking to his dad, even though his dad is dead. Him able to overcome what he's going through. It's just that's number 3 for me. So,
all right, Chris, you're up.
Okay, so my likeness of these movies are probably not necessarily in this order, but so the top 3 that I like, number 1, the first one is same as you, Iron Man 1.
Okay.
I'm the odd man out, guys.
Yeah.
So we all got Iron Man movie in there.
We got like mine. No, the first movie that came. This was what started it. If this movie would have flopped, we wouldn't have this.
Yeah,
this wouldn't exist. The MCU cinematic universe wouldn't exist. And the way that they did the movie, the concept, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in the first,
I mean,
like crazy,
everything.
Yeah. So the origin story, I love origin stories and everything, and I think Iron Man's just one of the best ones in the universe. So and that's what made me like it, because I watched that when it first came out. And then whenever I seen it on Netflix, I watched that. Amazon Prime had it, and probably I think still does. I've watched it a lot, and just it's what started mixing realism with superheroes. Like you said, he built himself a superhero suit.
Yeah, exactly.
And showed like you don't need an army; you can just have one man, and that really brought a lot of just thoughts and stuff in my head.
I mean, you still remember like freaking scene when he shoots the little tiny ass missile at the tank, turns around, walks away, explodes. Like it's
wallpapers everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of my top 3 for sure. The second one, so my next pick is Civil War. I like comic books that are real and tend to be dark. That's why I think a lot of DC comic books I like more in some essence than Marvel. For that reason, but with Civil War, you're getting this realism that there is internal strife. It's not just happy-go-lucky. It's like, well, we're just going to save the world and everyone's friends and happy. Disney, don't do that, please. They don't have to live happily ever after. Now, in Civil War, it brought that a form of realism to that, and pitted people against each other that you wouldn't think would be against each other. The airplane scene was one of the most iconic. Yeah,
that will be talked about for years to come.
Yeah, just the Spider-Man dude because
Underoos.
Yeah. Sup, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you watch Spider-Man and he has it on his iPhone or his phone. He's like, I stole Captain America's shield. But like that whole scene, and then you get to see Ant-Man in a way that no one else has seen him, because that's whenever he first introduced the gigantic. Became like gigantic Ant-Man. So that scene, and then just the overall stuff where. You see Tony's. I mean, because Age of Ultron came in after.
It was before.
It was before Civil War. So,
remember the Sokovia.
Yeah. So you see the problems that started. Yes, Sokovia. You have the problems that they're too big, like they're too powerful. They need a leash.
Yeah.
People think they can just do whatever they want. It's okay, and you see the proof. Well, there's an argument for that. So. And then trying to get them on board with the government and all this other stuff. It was a really good movie for me. So my third movie is Spider-Man.
Dang.
So
surprising, right?
Again, so I love origin stories, but Spider-Man has been through the ringer. This is the third installment of Spider-Man in the MCU, and they didn't put an origin story for Spider-Man Homecoming. And I would have loved to have seen it with Tom Holland in there. I wish they would redo all the movies with him, because he's such a good Spider-Man. But the lack of an origin story with this new Spider-Man movie is what really, I think, made the movie push forward in a way that the other ones did not. Because each one, the first one, they had the origin story, and then they just got worse, like the Shreks. Then you have. I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man will always be known for his Spider-Man 3 walk down the
It's a meme now.
Right. It is, and it always resurfaces.
Always be a meme.
Andrew Garfield, I have yet to see the second one, but I don't think it was he was a bad Spider-Man.
No, he was.
I think he was too cool. He was too cool as a Peter Parker, though.
I think it was the script.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
He was, I think Peter Parker's character is a lot more introverted and more Tobey Maguire.
Like the way I would describe Andrew Garfield would be more Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
So he's more like he does have a little bit more of a cool essence to him instead of more of like this nerdy kind of guy.
A little more swagger to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which I don't mind. Andrew Garfield did do a good Spider-Man. I didn't see the second one. I heard it was okay. It wasn't the.
You can borrow it. I got you.
Okay. He's got me. But Tom Holland, hands down, best Spider-Man out of those three, and I think he has a really good career as a Spider-Man in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
But the fact, so I always got confused because they were putting all these separate heroes out, and then when the Avengers came, and then after the movies after the Avengers, people were just in different parts of the world or whatever, and so you're like, well, where's Hulk at when Iron Man's right here, needs help.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
call
Right.
Nick Fury, get the squad back together.
Yeah.
Let's do this real quick. But I mean, obviously that'd be a short movie.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that they brought Vulcan.
Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture. Vulcan. Spot comes in. But I like the original Spider-Man characters coming back like that. I'm waiting to see Green Goblin in the next.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
We'll see.
there's so many more villains too that haven't.
Yeah, because
been.
I'm pretty sure the next villain's gonna be Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Yeah, because we saw his alter ego in the prison at the end of the movie. I forget what his name was, but we saw him, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be him.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is that they actually do a really good Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
Because we already have 3 of them now. Because we have Vulture, Shocker, and Scorpion. They could all be part of the Sinister Six. But we'll see. And if we're sticking with animals, we could get Dr. Octopus at some point.
I think that
I would love to see Marvel's Dr. Octopus.
I think they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
He's too iconic of a superhero, supervillain to.
I think
just
it would
villain.
be so. I'm excited now. I'm
I'm
thinking about it.
Just trying to see who could play the
And if
part.
they don't get a guy with a bowl cut, I'll be so mad. He needs a bowl cut.
Oh my gosh! Can you guy who played on the Facebook Lex Luthor?
Oh,
What's his
Jesse
name?
Eisenberg?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg as
I can see it.
Doc
I can
Ock
see
with
it.
the bowl cut.
I could totally see it. Oh my gosh.
All right, well, we're gonna be emailing Disney and Marvel Studios about that one. But that was my third one. Like, obviously, there isn't a Marvel movie that I don't like a lot, and it's hard to try to put a top 3.
I'm gonna say Thor: The Dark World.
It's like, okay, yeah, if we're gonna say the worst ones, I would say. See, I thought Iron Man 3 was pretty low.
It was. But when I watched it, you have to watch it again. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because when I watched it, even when he watched it with me.
So second time around, much better than the first.
And especially after knowing watching all these movies, like not even just the ones that we've seen before, but seeing all the ones that come after too. Mm-hmm. Like we understand, like it's a lot different feel. You have to watch it again.
It was really a toss up. I really wanted to say Captain America too, the first one, not Captain America as well, not two.
So you wanted to say the first Avenger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was confused.
But I love origin stories, and I think Captain America is just as good as Iron Man ones.
Okay. Now, really quick, I'm gonna throw this out there real quick.
Well, since because how you said that Captain America's origin story is just as good as Iron Man one's, I disagree. Only because
here we go.
Ding ding ding.
For me, Captain America, he's a wuss. Always gonna be a wuss. Because he is. I'm gonna quote Tony Stark on this. He's a lab experiment. Right. So he was made by other people, and I think that's why I like Iron Man so much, because he's self-made. And so I remember, I think it's in Avengers 1 when Captain America, tells Tony Stark, what are you without the suit, right? And he's like, billionaire, philanthropist, playboy. Yeah. Like, I'm the shit. What are you? Right? And so I think that's why I like Iron Man so much more than Captain America.
You are Iron Man. You're Captain. Literally.
No, I'm just...
Even look at these guys.
Sorry. I just had to put my 2 cents in there because we're talking about Captain America.
So, really quick, I mean, this is probably a pretty easy answer now, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Team Cap, Team Iron Man.
Ooh.
What are you?
Iron Man.
Yeah,
all the way.
I got to
sorry.
go Cap.
Dang, I'm Iron Man, dude. I'm sorry. Iron Man through and through.
Sorry, dude.
I'm Iron Man because, dude, you can tell he doesn't want to do any of the things he's doing.
Oh, yeah, he wants out of the game.
He wants to be responsible. Yeah. Iron Man just wants to be responsible and own up to his actions.
Yeah, but that's the thing. His actions, and he's trying to include everyone else.
Well, I mean,
as like it's their fault.
Okay,
too.
There was one thing.
He had a continent dropped because of something he made.
One thing, yeah, that was one thing. But I mean, there's been other events too. So like
more that he's done and been responsible.
Not everything. No. No. Let's think about the first Thor movie where we had the Destroyer come down and destroy an entire town.
Well, yeah.
That wasn't Tony's fault.
No.
But then there's also, you have Loki, who, first Avengers, he comes down, he just wants to take over the Earth for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, I can't think of them right now. Doctor Strange. They have to, like, destroy all the mystic... It's not all Tony Stark, okay?
I don't think I agree. It's not all Tony Stark, but I think what led up to the Civil War and things was his fault, and he wants to put. So, I relate Iron Man to Batman. Like, he wants to put everyone who has the abilities to do bad on a leash, and he wants to control them, and whether or not directly, indirectly, but he wants to be able to have that ability to keep them in line.
Yeah.
And I think more so, like, okay, I get it. Thor, yeah, he's not of the planet, so there's not really much that he can do to Thor or Asgard or Loki or anything like that. But you got Captain America, you got Black Panther, and they want all this society. But him with Iron Man and T'Challa being like known, I am Black Panther, I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants that. And I don't think that they should. That's and again, that's into like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff going on like there. You got that whole background of just whether you think that people like that should be controlled. Because the more you control people, the more apt they are to rebel.
Sorry, you're just not convincing me.
I don't have to convince you. It's my opinion.
Nope, it's not.
Team Iron Man.
Team Iron Man. Dude. Iron Man for the win. Just saying.
Well, your inability to have the morale to do.
I don't know if it's more of an inability. No. It's more of a logical standpoint for my. It's like because we see in Civil War, Vision says that our strength brings challenge, and I think that is true. That is true for a very large amount of superheroes in general. Yeah. So that's why I'm Team Iron Man because I mean you can be like Captain America and just like have the team there and just go out and like. See, like to me, like this could be done so much more easily, but just I feel like that everybody just thinks it's just gonna be the government controlling them. We could have like one government official who just has been trained and like the Avengers trust them, and make it work, and it would be so much easier.
It would, but then it would be so much easier to break that apart with just one person because all you have to do is pull Loki staff and then control, or Loki become that one individual in whatever way possible and manipulate.
And make them a super.
Yeah,
we bring out mutants. This is where the Fantastic Four.
Charles Xavier comes in and goes.
See, we're good.
No, and that's what I think Captain America's ideal is. Like you have this one group controlling everyone. What happens when that group? Because Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and tore that system down, and what was supposed to have been a non-breakable system, like S.H.I.E.L.D. was the protection of Earth, and everyone who knew that that's what happened. Right. Like the whole time they were being used. So, trusting an organization to control a group like that is not safe. I mean, it's understandable, and I see your points exactly, but I think there could be maybe a different way about going about it. But you got Iron Man who's just like, no, it's my idea. That's what's going to happen.
That's not what he did. That's not what happened.
That's not.
No, the accords were made. No.
Yeah, but you have the people who refuse and think that that's the only way, and they're not willing to listen.
Yeah. It's like Captain America. Like he said, you have to be a tree and say, no, you move. Why can't other people do that? All right, we're not talking about political. So we're going to end this video, everybody. Thank you for joining and tuning in with us today. If you guys have any thoughts, opinions, if you're excited about Infinity War, comment below. We are going to be at the Lodi Stadium Theater on Thursday around 4 p.m., 3 p.m. We could be there, we could be across the street. We're going to be in that general vicinity just to promote this movie for ourselves, promote our channels, promote our excitement for this film. We're going to be dressed up, decked out in some cool gear. Super excited for this movie. Super excited to talk about with you guys and maybe answer some questions you guys may have. We have some pretty decent knowledge, at least I do. You guys do too. We have some good knowledge on this franchise as a whole, so if you guys have questions you guys want answered, we can answer them as best to our ability. And we can also answer any of the questions you have about the channels, or maybe if you're excited, or any other opinions that you think that we need to be challenged on in some way. Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let's go ahead and... What was your channel again? What's that thing called again?
Oh, Bento Entertainment Studios.
Bento.
BES.
Yeah, so he's got a YouTube channel. We also are on Podbean. He is doing a bunch of podcasts, and I am in there as well. We can try to get this guy in there, maybe.
I know. I'm working on it.
Working on it.
It's okay?
It's okay. We'll get there. So go ahead and follow us there.
Improv. That's what I need.
So we got a lot of stuff coming there as well. Some Infinity War stuff will be coming out this week. He's got some stuff on Disney, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to hear what he actually has to say, because I haven't heard it yet. I am first-time listener. So we got those YouTube channels up. We got the podcast on Podbean, and was that it? I think that's all the plugs. I mean, we have our Twitter, so you guys can follow me at YFNJoey on Instagram and at the Real Life with a Y on Twitter. Where can they find you, Chris?
At Bento Ent Studios, Bento ENT Studios.
ENT.
Or you can just type in Bento Entertainment Studios and
It'll,
you'll find
there's nobody else with that name. You're fine.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Insane Tavita.
You are insane.
Thank you.
You really are.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like down below and follow these guys. Ring the bell. I always forget to ring the bell.
Yeah,
but follow these guys on social media. They got some really cool stuff. He does motivational stuff on Instagram. If you guys having a bad day, just go look him up. He's got fans. I like listening to him.
Yeah.
He's got a nice voice.
I got like 3.
3 fans. That's about it.
There are 2 of them.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
I follow myself.
We're gonna catch you guys later. We're gonna turn this off.
See you guys.
Hey.
Captain America. Please. There you go. I wanted to add also on the video, but then I was like, nah, just stop. I was gonna be like, I also think it's the fact that he doesn't want to, like, be, like Captain America doesn't want anybody like controlling him, right? And I was like, maybe some of that has to do with because he used to be like a square bear, and like everyone would always tell him, no, you can't do this. Now he's got all this power. No one can tell him, oh no, you can't do this. Right?
Oh, because he came from being...
Yeah, so like maybe just that's always in the back of his head, like no one's ever going to tell me I can't do something again. Right? So then I feel like that has...
Well, I think it more so is like they can't... Yeah, well, in that fact, but not for like giving orders or receiving orders, but just like you can't overcome this. Or, I mean, he's trying to go Super Saiyan on Thanos' one arm. And Thanos is like, what are you doing? I'm just going to push you down. That's the look I get.
Get the record.